Hey, Randy Joe here, and welcome back to the channel, where today we're going to be checking out the newly released, the brand new Viagra Boys album, Viagr, Aboys. And before we get started, I just want to say if you want to see the full unedited reaction, go ahead and check out the description down below. Patreon is just $5 per month for all my videos, unedited, full albums, up on the Patreon. Now, this album is their follow-up to their 2022 album, Cave World, an album that I, myself, have not actually checked out yet. I've been meaning to check it out for some time, and I probably will after I listen to today's LP, where that one tackles a lot of online conspiracy theories and a little bit of the kind of right-leaning mindset that is a little bit more tainted by the internet. And this LP, given the album cover and some of the themes that they talked about with this album, it seems to be continuing in a similar fashion of dark humor and kind of poking fun at the world that we live in a satirical sense, for sure. But with 11 tracks and 37 minutes, this is a short LP, a quick LP. And if you're unfamiliar, they are a post-punk band that kind of delves into the more artsy side of things. I think they could be compared perhaps to Devo. I'm excited to see what they bring to the table, sonically and lyrically. Without further ado, though, Man Made of Meat, let's go. Ooh.
Okay. All right.
Waste no time getting into it.
All right.
Even adding the burp sound effect there, well, I think he did burp himself when performing. Again, adding to the nonchalant, silly humor.
Buy drywall and other products so they can eat back at home on the sofa.
Again, poking fun at the state of the internet, the world. You're on the internet looking at feet, as well as criticizing those that enjoy a little bit of television. Chandler Bing, Friends here. That line, maybe a little controversial to some, but again, very light and its nature, very humorous. I think this protagonist sees himself as superior to those that are a bit more normal.
I'm trying to get some free woman sweaters, you know what I mean?
There's a sense of self-importance with this character. Very charismatic performer, this lead vocalist is. Oh. Great writing, hilarious, but also disgusting. Flappy giblets is not, that's not the words or images I want to envision with that line. But I love the constant jabs. Very punchy, kind of direct delivery of this post-punk. I love the performance as well. Very charismatic, very engaging. Reminds me a little bit of Yard Act, another post-punk act, currently in the scene right now, but definitely more satirical. Here's the Bog Body. Very heaviness and roughness to the production. Maybe this is a satire on this relationship, this jealousy. A woman jealous of a man who is just interested, it seems, in this bizarre bog body swamp woman. How they came up with this, I don't know. But themes of jealousy running deep here. Kind of silly, very, very silly. Talking down on her. Oof. I like the catchiness here and the this is like a punky, almost Talking Heads fusion with almost like the Strokes is what I'm getting with the delivery vocally. Maybe this man is a little too interested in this woman, this bog body. Yeah. He's calling the bog woman beautiful. Maybe there is some credit here to the girlfriend perhaps in this song who is jealous. I think the guy's a little too invested in this bog body. I love these guitars are gnarly. Like, so electric, so visceral. Great one. Super catchy. I would say more catchy than that opener. Loved, again, remind me heavily of the Strokes. I think it's just those vocals, like Julian Casablancas, like, filter. Here's Uno 2. Who doesn't love Uno? I know I do. Is that a dog sniffing my ears there? Love this synth. Very hazy. Love that delivery. This character of Bogdan from Croatia. I love the characters they're developing here. When I see my oh. Is this from the perspective of a dog? I don't think so. Maybe he's being drugged. I don't know if I trust this Bogdan. This got a kind of vibey but eerie tone to it. What is this Bogdan doing? Perhaps a critique on those lived a sheltered life, feeling like they are inferior to those who have been through a real struggle. Is that the message here? What a jammy track. What a great track. A quick, sweet, fun track. Maybe a man of a sheltered life, insecure. I think there's some jealousy, some insecurity, some holier than thou kind of themes running deep into it. Really like the emotions being brought out. Here's Pyramid of Health.
Hanging out with the camera down my throat, they say my stomach's nearly fried from eating cigarettes for breakfast.
Let's pull up the lyrics here. There we go. Get the lyrics up now proper.
But if I follow 7 easy steps.
Such a warbly like horn sound. Love the sort of a southern twang he's singing in here. Very like monotone and deep. Very nonchalant as well, delivery. Getting strong like Ween vibes off this track. Also just lyrically, quite a abstract track. Perhaps someone trying to fix their health through these little tricks, like kombucha. Oh yeah, definitely a critique of those pursuing a healthy lifestyle and trying to find these tricks and tips through the internet. Perhaps this man claimed to eat cactuses. Follow these 7 easy steps. Yeah, definitely a critique, a satire of trying to live the clean lifestyle through these miracle drugs or miracle tonics, I guess one could say. I love the humor again brought to the table. I do feel like you could definitely call Viagra Boys, the Devo of the modern day, with the way they are satirizing everything in a punk fashion in the same way they did, but this one being much more post-punk induced, of course, and as well as just quite a different production technique, I would say. Here's Dirty Boys. It's so danceable. It's a great dance punk LP as well, which I for one love. Very electric in its sound. It's just so inducing and powerful. Some sort of weird, almost like swamp monsters. I'm very confused at what the narrative means here, but definitely not a gang you want to hang around with. Dirty Boys is a chaotic, backwoods, horror funk anthem that turns urban legends, meth-fueled madness, and swamp cryptids into a dirty, sweaty transformation ritual. Wow, I love that. Definitely feels horror funk. What a great concept. And I certainly got that swamp cryptid thing. Oh. Again, the humor there, quite vivid in the imagery, and that gurgling. Such a sludgy, kind of nasty mix. Love the kind of bubbling nature of that synth. This is a really great hypnotic outro. What a is that an Elvis Presley impersonation to close it out? I love how it just silly and carefree the band feels in their art. Definitely feels like they are just kind of embracing the fun, enthusiastic nature of creativity on these tracks. But going back to Dirty Boys here, let's talk about it. I loved the swampiness of it, the dirtiness of it, the kind of growing nature of it all. Remind me of the track Swamp from Talking Heads, actually. Again, shouting them out. But let's go back to Dirty Boys. I just want to say, the hypnotic nature, it starts off with this, that kind of shimmery kind of synth. By the end of the track, we're by the end of the track, it is climaxed. It has been so hypnotic and growing in its potential. Love it. I think it's such a gradual track, and at 3 minutes and 44 seconds, it is one of the longest tracks on here. But I just loved the gradual nature of it all. Here's Medicine for Horses. Came out weird. A little dreamy here. Like a little psychedelic.
Card I need to pick out to get my pineal gland recalcified.
I'm sorry, what?
Years ago, on the plains of North America,
I don't like that at all. like a humorous suicidal ideation song. This protagonist definitely giving up here. Love how downtrodden this feels. A sweet line, but also very dark, dystopian, almost like sci-fi, this reincarnation of him 200 years later, but still in love with his wife. Really the only sweet sentiment in the track here. Everything else so dark and depressive. This is a nice heavy track, but still kind of light in its lyricism, yet blunt. That's a great track, but definitely, I would say the most dark in its approach. Here's Waterboy. Oh, this is very Ween coded.
Okay.
At least vocally there. Love how like strong the sludgy mix is.
You should get checked for chlamydia. Drink your beer room temperature. Not enough on painkillers. Lost your girl, you're still texting her.
What a raw line that's relatable to many. Perhaps this character just holding on to the past a bit too strongly and unable to embrace the time we are living in. Again, quite a depressing kind of outlook. Not my favorite though, I'll say that. Here's Store Policy. Oh. What is going on? Only do drugs that are real hard to get. Smoking crypto is bad for your health. I'm touching myself by the health food shelf. Again, maybe a sense of purity? I don't know. This is a weird one. Catchy chorus, I guess, though. Love the synth. Just barely holding it together. Ooh. This one really just... maybe not purity. Maybe the absence of purity. This person really embracing the griminess of their nature. Like, almost like an opposite of the track Pyramid of Health, I believe it was. Which is all about clean living. Oh! Love how, like, blown out that kick feels. And that horn wailing. We've got a flute, I think? We do have a flute. Oscar Carls, sorry. I love the flute. I love the vocals, so like mutilated, those vocals. Such a bouncy, abrasive mix. Just so blown out here. Ooh, here's You Need Me. Oh, I thought it was gonna segue. Here's You Need Me. What a driven riff this is right off the bat. I feel like we are locked in on this bass line. which feels so vibrating. Strong ego on this character. One who thinks he's more intelligent and clever than he is. Oh. Love that. Was that a guitar there? Oh my god. So like aggressive, the mix. Oh, getting self-pitying here perhaps. Love that, just like alien-like guitar work.
Did you know that the last Japanese soldiers surrendered in 1998? And they were actually, it was commonplace to use bears in the Polish army. And another interesting fact.
I feel like we've been cornered in a party by that fact guy that maybe a little bit on the spectrum perhaps, but he's a little strange, but he's nice enough.
Is that most deaths happened in pilot school?
You know, kind of just says what's on his mind. I like that. That's fun. I love the kind of almost like Eastern squealing in the background there. I like that one. That one was very alien in nature, about someone who just is clearly very full of themselves, and seems to think they're far more interesting than they actually are, and is being a burden to others. Maybe in a party setting, I'm not sure. Here's Best in Show Part 4, the longest track at 5.5 minutes, which is quite a jump up. I think a whole minute and a half extra compared to the most. This almost seeming to be maybe a finale of sorts. I like these bongos in the background.
And once again, but this time his shroud was evaporated and he was glowing brilliant.
What are these
like
lyrics?
He led me to an ancient tomb in the subway systems of New York
This man is like schizophrenic or something.
City, where celebrity cabal was taking place. I then proceeded to steal Poseidon's trident from the Navy SEALs, and they'll never get it back.
Oh yeah, definitely a little
Sister heaven. If I
a little out of his element.
phrase, I can walk through walls.
This one quite gradual in its build up here. Lyrically, just kind of throwing some very abstract ideas at you. Perhaps the ramblings of a madman, I'm not sure. But I do like the gradual nature we've got so far. It makes for some solid pacing. Especially with how direct this album typically is. This one's certainly a lot more slow in its progression.
I need access to heaven, or ain't none of this is gonna work out.
Don't we all? Oh my god. Like a dying horn. Like, is that a sax, I believe? Floundering around. Even those almost like angelic backup vocals feel so strained. This is a swirling, building cacophony of sounds. I'm loving this horn. As eccentric as it sounds. This kind of reminds me of kind of reminds me of like the post-punk jazz rock, post rock inspired sound that for the first time Black Country New Road album had. Just very growing in nature, very squealing in its sax. It certainly spins out of control in that final kind of leg of the track there. Again, reminds me very much of Black Country New Road's debut. And a darkness in its sound, especially here. A great album cover as well. I just want to quickly say that. But here's River King. Let's keep it going. Let's close it out with this track here. River King. Which feels... Maybe this will be less satirical. Maybe this will be more honest.
I wonder if you knew I've been thinking about you.
It's kind of a sweet track.
We met when you chased me round and stepped.
Maybe a track about missing the past? I don't know. Or maybe there's a sweetness in this maybe it's a love track, I don't know.
Go get Chinese food. Easy now and looking at you feels easy.
Maybe there's a sweetness here. You know, life's not perfect in this track, in this world generally, which I think is the main theme perhaps of the LP. But here, he's kind of embracing it. He's accepting that the world is not perfect, and instead finding the perfect and the beauty in just the common everyday life. And it would seem this kind of romantic nature, maybe a loved one. But it's a much more optimistic outlook. I like how stripped back this one is. It's just a nice, beautiful closer, embracing the reality in which you exist. Beautiful track to close it all out. Very sweet and sentimental, and I just loved the stripped back approach after such a massive closer on that previous track, and really the LP at large feeling pretty crushing and massive in tone at times with the swirling instrumentals. To close it out with something that is so sweet, so sentimental, so romantic. It's a nice whiplash that kind of makes you appreciate the beauty in the world rather than criticizing and thinking about the madness that is most of the mess of the world we live in, which I feel like really captures the LP in an essence. So this is a solid LP. It's quick, 37 minutes, flies by. You know, you got a lot of very danceable, kind of jazzy, some of these very swampy, especially that track, which one was it here? I think it was Dirty Boys, really like swamp rock, you know, like a funky rock track, really, and punky. It's like funk punk, if that's a thing. But I gotta say, I really liked the plethora of styles kind of thrown at you. I feel like they delve into their themes just enough that you can understand what's going on in them, and what they're criticizing, what they're parodying, what they're satirizing, while never feeling like they are being too broad or too bold in their ideas, which, you know, that might be a critique against it. Maybe they could go even deeper, but I kind of liked, you know, there is an accessibleness to this that is still funny, still light, and again, very satirical. I loved it. Viagra, Aboys, a pretty solid LP, and I feel like it will certainly grow on me too with repeated listenings. I feel like there's a lot to dive into and appreciate here, both sonically and lyrically, and just a solid album all around that flies by with its great pacing. Loved Medicine for Horses as well. Nice kind of country twang to it. that was very depressive, but still quite humorous in its delivery, and a little sci-fi, I would say. Just a great LP. Again, reminds me very much of Devo in a way. So if you like Devo, again, keep giving this some spins is essentially what I'm saying. But that does it for today's video. If you like the video, please hit like and subscribe to listen to more albums alongside myself. And of course, if you want to check out my Patreon, you could, for $5, get all my videos unedited from this year and this point onward, including this one you just watched today. For further tiers, there's of course bonus content if you are so interested. But that does it for today's video. My name is Randy Joe. I appreciate you watching, and I'm signing off.